finally time to do some work on the Corvette. I feel like this car has been really neglected, but honestly it's just because the car it's so good, it's so reliable that you really don't have to do much to these things. So without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. Check it out. I picked up an SX Racing or SX Parts AP Racing Radical front brake setup for the C7. I picked this up used. Actually, on the Corvette forum, there was a guy selling them, and he just gave me such a good deal. I just couldn't pass it up. I was not planning on doing this. What I was going to do is I was actually going to do the same thing that I did with the Evo brakes. I was going to rebuild these because they do need a rebuild. So I was going to do like the RB, the racing brake pistons and all that kind of stuff. But always been lusting for this. Something that I definitely wanted to do at some point in the future. The rotor is 372 mil, which is slightly bigger than what I have now from the factory. I have been having some issues with these brakes. The car stops, okay? The brakes do work, okay? And obviously I've gotten really fast for just like a street car. But I have been having some weird pedal issue. Sometimes I like press on the pedal and I feel like a hard spot, and then all of a sudden, and then the pedal moves down, and then all of a sudden it bites a lot harder. I'm going through a set of pads like every third track day, really every 2.5 days. But these pads are almost gone already. I'll pull them out, I'll show you guys later. But these pads have 2 days on them. So this kit allows me to run a 25 mil pad, all right? So obviously much thicker, and the pads, surprisingly, they're not really that much more money for a 25 mil pad, even though you're getting almost double the surface on the pads. One thing that I wanted to mention to you guys that I didn't know, I got kind of freaked out when I first got the kit. So these, they look like a regular nut, but they're not really regular nuts. These are called jet nuts. I never really heard of them, but what happens with this, let me try to do this with one hand. What happens with this, when you start threading it, okay, there it goes. It goes in easy, okay, look, it goes in easy. But right there, I got some resistance. So all of a sudden, you start putting it in, and you feel like it's cross-threading, okay? But that's the way it's supposed to be. This is some kind of locking mechanism where the thread of the nut itself is not like even, okay? And somehow as you get to the top, it gets tighter. That's what this video is about, guys. I'm going to go ahead and swap out these brakes for the AP setup, and on the rear I am going to swap out the rear pads because they're on their last leg for the new ones. Let me make some room. I gotta get this thing out, put this thing up on the lift. So let's go. Even though this is not a how-to, I want to give you a quick tip. There's a bracket that holds the line here. Sorry, I got a little slip, but anyways, it's something like that. Okay, so that line, that bracket goes something like that. Okay, and then it attaches these sensors, the actual brake line with the hard line, the soft line with the hard line, and the ride height sensor. Okay. Do yourself a favor and go ahead and take the ride height sensor off and remove these plugs from it, and then loosen this bracket, get it out of the way, okay? So that you can gain good access to the hard line connection there, because if not, it's gonna be really difficult to try to get that line hooked up to the hard line, the new line, okay? So I'm gonna get started taking all this stuff off. Here's the first side completed. Definitely taking that bracket off from the inside was a major time saver. You know, you really just want to take a look at the area, remove everything that you can remove that's going to be in your way, and just kind of, you know, plan your steps. All right, so I left the stock caliper hanging there for as long as I could, basically, and I installed this whole assembly. And then once I was ready to basically swap the line over, then I disconnected the factory line. You're still gonna drip brake fluid everywhere, so, you know, be ready for that. So, but anyways, yeah, man, so here's everything. You can see how much space this has over here. Okay, so this is an 18mm pad, and look how much the piston came out. Here's the stock setup. So I'm reading that right at 37 pounds. Okay, and this is everything, right? And remember that these pads are all worn out already. Okay, so rotor, bolts, caliper, obviously, pads, and line. So now let me swap it for the AP setup. All right, so here's the AP setup. Okay, 33.6. That's what I'm reading there. And again, we have everything. Bolts, line, pads, adapter. So it definitely saves a little bit of weight. Okay, right around, you know, 3.5 pounds or so. So it's not like you're saving 10 pounds, but again, this is pretty much the same size, slightly bigger. So now let's compare sizes and everything to see where we're at. Okay, so here we have the rotor side to side. And as you can see, the factory rotor has a lot more width right here than the AP setup. So, I mean, at face value, you would think that the factory rotor is better at dissipating heat because it simply has more mass. Okay, so I'm not really sure how the AP kit handles that. Compare the sizes. So the factory rotor measures right at 14.5. Okay, and the AP rotor measures right at 14 5/8. So pretty much the same. So, I mean, when you look at it like this, it seems like really you're losing some rotor mass from going from the stock. This is the Z06 base Z06 C706 brake setup, which is, you know, the steel calipers. The annulus here measures right at like 2 3/8, a little bit more than 2 5/8. Okay, whereas the AP setup, you got 2 1/4. Okay, so what is that? A good 3/8. I'm not really sure how this is gonna fare. I guess we'll see. They do make a bigger kit. All right, so this is more of an endurance kit. But honestly, I was happy with the stopping power of the stock setup. So I wasn't really looking for more size. I was looking for more consistency, pedal confidence, right? So anyways, that's enough for the comparison. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna bleed this side before moving on to the passenger side. Here's another issue that I'm having with the stock calipers. So look at the taper that I'm having there. So you can mediate this by flipping the pads, but this pad is tapered not only front to back, but also top to bottom. So it's slightly tapered like this. And that has to do with the caliper stiffness. Inside and out, the outside is not as bad, has a little bit of taper, not as bad as the inside. So hopefully the AP setup also mediates that. Got the front all done. Got this side done. You guys saw that. I did this side. Didn't record it because it's the same. And then I went ahead and I put the new pads in the rear, and I bled the whole system. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the wheels on, and I'm gonna take it out for a test drive and give you my impressions. These damn cicadas. Alright guys, so I've been driving for a while, bedding in the pads and all that, and man, these things are very, very powerful. Even though like the size ends up really being a little bit less mass than the stock setup, the bite on these things is incredible. Like the pedal is immediate, and I'm pretty sure it's not just from the pads. It is a different pad compound that I've never tried, but man, it can't be just the pad. I think that the caliper itself and just the brake setup itself is just way more direct. Like I'm gonna have to really adjust my braking habits, because like now you just touch it and the car immediately just nosedive, and it was very difficult to not activate ABS while I was trying to bed in the pads. Dude, that is insane. Holy crap. Okay, I gotta try that again. Hold on. Wow. Okay. Oh my god, that's just nuts, dude. Oh my god, these brakes are so hard. Like, AP is the truth. I felt ABS a little bit, and I didn't slam on them. I just progressively went on them, but holy crap, these things have some power. All right guys, I am very impressed with the AP brake setup, even though this is not the biggest rotor they sell or biggest setup they sell, and you do lose some mass over the stock Z06 iron brake setup. But man, the pedal feel and the instancy, how hard the brakes grab now, it's just incredible. The true test is going to be when obviously when I take this beast back to the track. Luckily I have a track day already set up for it. Middle of October I'm gonna be going to VIR, which I am super excited about. I've never been to that track before, so really looking forward to that. So I'm going to be I'll be letting you guys know how the brakes perform on track and all that, and definitely gonna be recording a lot of that. And by the way, big shout out to SX Parts. I didn't buy the kit from them, I bought it used like I told you guys, but I did need a couple parts, some bolts and stuff like that. The brake lines he didn't have. I called SX Parts and they were like, no problem. And they were nice enough, they printed me and sent me a set of instructions. And by the way, the instructions that they have for this for the kits, man, very thorough. Like, that is so refreshing to see a company that really takes care of their product and their clients and stuff like that. Obviously their stuff is pricey, but you really get what you pay for. This is a very well engineered setup. Everything bolted right on, no problems, no fitment issues, no questions. Everything was really spelled out for you. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what would you guys do with the rear brake. I mean, this is like a hard anodized finish. I don't know that you'll be able to really match that. I don't know. I guess I could also, one thing that I was thinking about is maybe eventually just doing them in black, or buying the black rear calipers and just swapping them over and doing some steel braided lines while I'm at it. Or would you just leave it and rock it? So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.